You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Once again, I'm Big Q. And on the line, we got DC chiming in with us. What's going on, DC?
Man, what's happening, partner?
We good, brother. Everything's good and gravy. And we're here today in podcast 207. That's right, podcast 207 to cover day 5. That's right, Saints fans want to know the latest ins and outs on day 5. And that is the rundown. We're going to talk exclusively about what happened during day 5 during this current episode of the Sports Coma. DC, you had an opportunity, man, to view what was going on, break down to the fans and tell the Saints family. That's right, you were there.
I haven't seen nothing past the rain.
Yeah. Neither could Drew and some of the wide receivers. But tell the Saints Nation, man, what happened for day 5.
Man, day 5 was epic. It was epic, man. It was rain. A lot of people would like to attribute the rain to the defense's outstanding performance, but defense showed up, man. Everybody from Marcus Williams to PJ Williams was making plays. They really had the offense flooded, man. They were mocking Drew Brees at one point. You know, he went 4 straight without getting a completion. Just got a lot of talent along the defensive line, man, and they definitely was making an impact. They went this day, and it's probably the best Saints defensive practice I've ever seen.
I mean, of course, Drew Brees, man, he struggled in the rain. Of course, throwing that ball in that heavy rain, I wasn't just no shower. That stuff came down out there, man.
Right.
And that's how. And usually, quarterback's going to struggle throwing the ball in the rain, and wide receivers usually going to struggle catching the ball. It's always favor the defense in situations like that. So let's not get too excited about it. But in particular,
we had a lot going on still before it even started raining. Like that whole day, they was giving them the blues, man. So that's why I say the rain isn't. It isn't like, you know, it wasn't raining the whole practice. So I can't just blame it on the rain. It was happening before the rain. So everybody get excited.
And it's, I mean, when you know all the Saints, we don't put that much pressure on the offense because the offense has been steady. We've been really blessed to have a steady, calming influence in the offense with Sean Payton having his offensive coordinator, Pete Carmichael here, all that stability, and of course having Drew Brees for all that time. You know, that offense has been a mainstay. The defense has been the thing that's had to catch up as well as the special teams, and it's just really, I guess, a lot of fans are excited to see the defense finally showing near the level of where the offense is, and the special teams also bringing up the rear where none of that pressure falls to the offense to have to carry the team because the defense is bad or the special teams can't kick field goals or can't cover or can't get good field position for the offense. They got to do everything. So it just feels good that the entire team, all 3 major units are pulling their weight as opposed to just the offense having to carry the team because everybody else is so pissed off. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of some of the discussions you were talking about, dealing with some of the individual battles. Talk to us about some of the things, some of the guys that really came out, that stood out in day 5 training camp.
Well, to me, the number one guy from day 5 would have to be none other than our free agent signing, DeMario Davis, man. He was all over the place. He's stuffing runs. He intercepted a pass. He's breaking passes up. You know, he did a lot far as the coverage. And then you could see why, we signed him, man. He'll hit you. This dude will hit you, man. And he pretty much had probably the best day I've ever seen him in the Saints uniform. If he plays on Sunday like how he practiced, then we're going to be calling him Jonathan Vilma, I guess, man. Whoever you want to call him along the great list of linebackers we got. But I was very impressed with Mario Davis, number one out of everybody. And the other thing that really caught my eye was Marcus Williams, man. And he had a little thing going on with Michael Thomas. He broke a pass up with Michael Thomas and he kind of hit him good. Michael Thomas ain't like that. He caught him slipping on another play, and he stiff-armed him to the ground. So it was very competitive, and they had a few other guys got into it. Fulton and I think A.J. Klein also got into a little skirmish. So they were very scrappy, man. I like that. I like seeing that from a defensive standpoint because, you're getting under offensive skin, and emotions are high, and guys are taking it serious. So you had some almost fights, borderline fights out there, man. So that's two major things I could say I took away.
Right. Well, we're going back to the defense. That's the mainstay, of course, the linebacker position. So Marcus Williams trying to make that, trying to break, I guess you could say, trying to reestablish himself from that one play at the end of the season because that's the stamping play people got attached to him. But defensively, looking at the defensive line, interior, a lot of people starting to really get and zone in on the defensive line. Of course, they address the ends with Alex Okafor and Davenport. And, of course, Cam is here. And then we have all those really splendid defensive end pass rushers.
Something really important.
But we're looking at the defensive tackle position. So let's zone in on the defensive tackle position. Talk about the DTs.
Well, the biggest thing you can see from that is David Oyemata has basically been the starting D tackle, though, since all the training camp days. And I don't know what that says for Sheldon Rankins. Rankins is definitely out there making plays. He's not a slouch. He's doing his thing. But David Oyemata, man, he's come a long way in a very short amount of time. And I'm wondering if this is actually he's going to start over Sheldon Rankins. Has he excelled that much? Or are they just doing this to try to piss Sheldon Rankins off? I don't really know, man, but I find it very interesting that all the other positions, they're basically shifting. Like, I like Matt Taio playing out there, but we still see A.J. Klein coming in. Mario Davis comes out there. Anzalone, Craig Robinson's getting on it. And they're rotating guys that they're starting. But for D tackle, David Oyemata has started the whole time. So that's very interesting.
Right. You're absolutely right. Oyemata has come a long way, like you said.
Mama?
He definitely came a long way, man, from being that raw Canadian defensive tackle prospect that the Saints picked up, and he considered the man raw. But since he's been here in the Saints, he's got meaningful snaps and took a great advantage of all those snaps that he's received. But I wouldn't go overboard with it. I think it's just a tool that the defensive coaches are using to kind of encourage, for lack of a better word, Sheldon Rankins to exceed further and kind of break through his shell, I guess you could say, because we anticipating greatness. Let me tell you something. We're doing the coaches know that Sheldon Rankins it has the potential to be one of the top 5 best defensive tackles in the entire NFL. This might be one of those methods that they're using to push Rankins to that ranking, no pun intended, to get to that next level of his development. And it seems to be working to me because he has been playing meaningful and playing strong too. So, hey.
And Jay Bromley has also been playing good as well.
And Taylor Stallworth.
Our D tackle that we signed came from the Giants. So we look like we might have a 4th guy in Jay Bromley, but,
And they don't you dare forget Taylor Stallworth, too, because Taylor Stallworth is making plays, too. And Tyler Davison, man, watch out, brother. Watch out. You got some serious competition coming in with these defensive tackles this year. Watch out. The interior defensive linemen, man, they really showing up, and that's a spot most people not talking about, but we own it. We looking at you. Now let's move on, DC. Let's talk about some more stuff that happened during Day 5. You mentioned Double D, Demario Davis. Let me talk to you about this because the Saints, man, to me, when he came in, people were anticipating Double D to play middle linebacker. Not so much during the onset of the early days. The Saints kind of experimenting with him, moving him around as were he playing at at positions outside the middle linebacker, played at a little strong, moved to the weak. The Saints experimenting with Double D and some of these linebackers. What do you think about that experimentation, him moving around with the rest of A.J. Klein and Alex Anzalone, who's stepping up big time?
I think that is excellent because I have a bit of a theory. Matt Taylor also has been playing very well. A lot of stuff he's doing isn't necessarily showing up as stats right now, but I'm looking at them try to attack and expose him in coverage, and it ain't working. And even the plays where people made catches on him, he right there. So I'm wondering if Matt Taylor can be the middle linebacker, first and second down, if they're thinking about doing something like that. I mean, basically, potentially we'll have 3 middle linebackers out there all at the same time. And Davis, and if they decide to go with Klein or even Anzalone plays middle linebacker too. You can have a lineup with Matt Taylor, Anzalone, and Demario Davis in your base 4-3 package, and then have Demario Davis also go out there as your third down linebacker with Anzalone. Him and Anzalone are excellent coverage linebackers, man. And I mean, this guy, Demario Davis, can play all over the line. All over the linebacking core. He can basically play any position, and I think we have a lot of guys in our depth as linebackers. If we don't rely on them to be Demario Davis, I think that can be very, very special. We got Craig Robinson. We got A.J. Klein that could potentially be a second stringer. You got Matt Taylor, whether he starts or not. And Nate Stupar is not a bad linebacker either. Like, we're a very deep linebacker depth, so they just got to figure out these rotations, man. Demario Davis is definitely making it easy for his situation because he basically probably going to play everywhere.
Great thing about Demario Davis that he can play everywhere. He has the talent, the intelligence to play every last one of the Saints linebacker positions. That's a tremendous asset. And that goes very well for Sean Payton and Dennis Allen because they went and got linebackers that can play multiple positions, guys that you can plug in that can call plays on the defense. So they're really hedging their bets against injuries and having persons line 1, line 2, and 3 covered. If this guy goes down, this guy steps up, runs the defense. Just a tremendous strategy to make sure that they provide depth from past years when we would lose a linebacker and would suffer on defense. Not so much. The Saints are really anticipating that. Talk to us about Ken Crawley, DC. He's been struggling in camp. Specifically, we talked about him the last show, and he's went up a level or two to become a starting caliber cornerback, but the great Mike Thomas, making him look like he might be a 3rd or 4th string cornerback. Talk to us about that, man.
I mean, he knocked a pass away during camp the other day, so he made a play. Basically, most of the cornerbacks out there made a play. LaShawn Lattimore batted the ball away as well as him, and P.J. Williams. Patrick Robinson definitely made a play, couple plays. So Ken Crawley, he got embarrassed against Michael Thomas. I believe that was day 4 or day 3 of training camp. I don't remember, but Michael Thomas made him look like a rookie. Turned him around in a circle, just about. He basically lost Michael Thomas. He didn't know where he was. So I ain't gonna say it's looking bad for Ken Crawley because I don't know if we have a guy that you want to put on the outside to actually replace him, but just going off these few camps, which means nothing because you got to see it live. You got to see it live. That's the disclaimer when we put on the camp. Some things you notice and you're like, wow, that's amazing, but this all means nothing until you see it done in the real game. But I think Cameron Moore probably would have been the best guy. I guess upseeded him on the outside maybe. I don't see P.J. Williams being that guy. I don't think they want they want Robinson to be that guy. They want him in the slot. And Cameron Moore actually got hurt, and he didn't practice. So, got a hamstring injury. So Ken Crawley, I think he's in there, and going to be trial by fire as usual until they figure it out. That's usually what happens to him.
All right, well, that'll do it for right now on this first part of Day 5. We're going to come back on the other side to break, and we're going to talk about more Day 5 news. And, of course, we're going to even throw in our day. Starting today, we're going to do a player of the day, and we're going to cover that as well on the other side of the break. So stay with us. You're listening to the Sports Coma on the PRO Media Network.
What's up, sports world? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE, style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. We still talking about the Saints and training. First segment covering a lot of Day 5 news. This time around, we're going to keep it going. The theme today is Day 5. Every and any and all things is Day 5 today. And of course, after we finish breaking down Day 5, we're going to give you our player of the Day 5. As we're going to do every day. Of course, Tuesday, the Saints didn't. They had the day off. And, of course, they come back Wednesday with more practice, and we'll be, of course, on top of that to cover that as well. Now, DC getting back into Day 5 news, we were able to talk about the interior defensive line. We talked about some of the play of some of the cornerbacks, in particular, guys like Ken Crawley, who got toasted by Mike Thomas. But the defensive Ken Crawley, he's not the only guy. There are better cornerbacks that I've seen that Mike Thomas made them look like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. He also mentioned Marcus Williams making some plays as well during the rain-soaked Day 5. Sean Payton and his team continued to turn it up in hopefully in pursuit of getting a second Super Bowl before Drew get too damn old. But let's get back into it, my friend. What else you want to mention from Day 5? Of course, we talked about Drew, how he played. What about some of these other guys behind Drew in Day 5? Of course, what about Tom Savage? He was able to come back and play. What are your thoughts on?
Tom Savage pretty good since he came back from that. He actually had a better day than Drew Brees. He only had 2 incompletions. And that's saying a lot on the day with the defense forced about 5 or 6 turnovers.
That's true. JT Barrett also is he struggled a little bit as well in the game as well. And Tom Savage, man, is a guy, he's a veteran who's He's been in the NFL for a number of years now, and he's trying to. And some people consider him a long shot to make the team.
I don't think so. I've always said I think Tom Savage would be the backup quarterback, and that's how it looks like it's going so far. I mean, if you watch the training camp, you see it's clear that Taysom Hill is not ready to live up to this praise that Sean Payton gives him for us being the heir apparent to Drew Brees. It ain't his time yet. It might be another year or two before he could possibly think about it. Plus, he's still playing special teams. So Tom Savage, I think, is on the team, man. JT Barrett is the guy that's got to basically force them to keep him on this team.
Yeah, JT definitely got to show up big in camp for people to take notice of him and outplay Tom Savage and the rest of them. But I don't know. A lot of people love Taysom Hill, and it's early on in the camp. But, we open for commentary here. But let's move into the running backs room. Let's talk about the running backs position.
Man. He's a quarterback that wants to play special teams, that wants to tackle. How often do you hear about that?
I've not ever heard that. I think that's a new one for me.
He's an easy guy to like, man. He's not the typical quarterback, prima donna, don't touch me guy. He won't get dirty. He won't be a football player.
Love it.
You gotta respect that.
Love it. Let's go into the next topic, which we'll be talking about the running back room. Of course, a bunch of backs that we've seen handle the ball in day 5. Shane Vereen, DC. Let's talk about some of these running backs: Jonathan Williams, Bo Scott, Shane Vereen, and the rest of these guys. What's happening with that?
I think we have a very interesting mix of guys. Nobody's really separated themselves outside of Mark Ingram and Mike Alvin Kamara as of yet. But if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Bo Scott. I've seen him making a lot of plays. Still needs to figure some things out in the special teams and in passing and pass protection and stuff like that. But every time he gets the ball, he seems to make somebody miss. Very shifty. And he's a powerful little bowling ball type guy, man. I think he creeps up on people a lot more stronger than they anticipate him being. But Shane Vereen, not really seeing anything major out of him. Of course, he's a veteran, so you won't really know till you see him playing preseason. He's not going to give his all his training camp. He's been through, 12, 15 training camps? Who knows? So Terrence West is fumbling. He's still showing his ball security problems. So he's not to be relied on at this point. Williams isn't doing anything super special. He makes plays. He does what he's supposed to. Trey Edmonds is very, very interesting situation with him. Trey Edmonds is basically not getting any carries at running back. So it's like, whoa. But they have been playing a lot at fullback. So I'm wondering if they're trying to give Trey Edmonds the position we saw to Who-Man. With Who-Man being hurt, a lot of those lineups where Who-Man would be in there, he would line up at like a fullback. So with Trey Edmonds doing that, I'm wondering if Who-Man is on the way out. Because you got Arnold, who's basically, he makes 2 or 3 catches every day. He's not the best blocker. But you got Yeldon, who we're still real high on. We gave him the most money you've ever give anybody to sign to a practice squad. Then you got Hill, and you got Watson, and you got Uman. So that's 5. We normally keep about 4 tight ends, but we never keep 5. So wondering if the Trey Edmonds situation is a sign of one of our tight ends being cut. But that's basically our running back room right now. You know what it is with Mark Ingram. You know what you're getting out of him tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's accurate, man. That position, that H-back position, playing that fullback would be interesting for a guy like Trey Edmonds. He's damn sure big enough to do it. He's versatile enough to do it. And being that the Saints really only have Zach Line, the only positioned fullback on the team. Of course, the Saints open to move guys around, but very interested in that running back room. Let's look around. Let's talk about some other players, too. Some of the guys, DC, if you got information on them. I know you've been keeping an eye on, but what about some of these other guys like Rick Leonard and Nate Wozniak, who made the transition from tight end to offensive lineman, how he's looking? We haven't heard too much from Rick Leonard.
I noticed what you did there. That's 2 of your guys, man. You're trying to shift them off on me.
I'm just asking, you know, because
that one past. I haven't been hearing a lot about Rick Leonard. Nate Weinze, I haven't heard anything about him at all. But Rick Leonard is basically doing team drills, individual matchups. I think they're still working on him, getting his footwork and everything together. No real big signs out of him. Nothing that's going to lead him out. Just a rookie, basically working through the motions, still trying to make the transition. But we knew that guy was a project guy when we got him. I mean, he's huge. You can't miss him out there. But he's not doing anything yet. Jerome Bushrod has been making some impressive plays with his age, and Larry Wolford, and a lot of our other linemen that you would expect. Tyron Armstead is working with Davenport. He constantly makes a fool out of him. And Ramczyk has been working with Cam Jordan.
Wow.
Very tough matchup for him, but he's kind of holding his own at the end.
Isn't that something?
He can basically guard Cam Jordan one-on-one, so
wow.
Getting beat.
Right, but that's a learning lesson because Cam's obviously one of the best, one of the better defensive end pass rusher, complete defensive ends in the league. Let's talk about another rookie that everybody loves. He's, of course, from New Orleans. He played at LSU. His versatile offensive lineman, Mr. Will Clapp. What you heard on him?
Oh, I thought you was talking about going to Ultimate, but they said LSU there. Will Clapp is basically still working into the rotation. He's been filling in now. Second unit, you got Cameron Tom not practicing. He's hurt. They've basically been giving Will Clapp his I was about to say minutes, but his snaps, reps. And he's filling in, man, still coming along. Again, nothing that's going to ooh you and ah you at this moment yet. He's a rookie guy still making the transition, man. He's not terribly getting abused, so that would be a wonderful thing at this point.
That's true. No doubt about it. Seeing a lot of good progressions going about, man.
I think Will going to be good, though, man.
Well, the thing about Will Clapp that's terrific, football-wise, is the fact that he can play every position on the offensive line. For a guy like that, you're going to find he's going to find a spot. He can play center, guard, or tackle. So, I mean, the guy, he's what you call the basketball word, a positionless player. He can do it all. That's what Will Clapp is, position type of guy that can do it all for you whenever you need him to. And he's healthy, so that's the main thing for him. And we're just going to keep monitoring his development. Of course, the Saints pulling a guy from England, old England, to come over here and play football. His name is Alex Jenkins. He's been making some plays too, DC. He had a sack the other day, and he seems to be playing pretty well. Alex Jenkins making a name for himself, man.
Okay, yeah, Alex Jenkins is carrying all that over from last year in the preseason. He was lighting it up, and we was wondering what happened to him. So we buried him just to bring him back alive right now, man. Like you said, a guy from over in old England over here. So you know he's putting it all on the line, man, when you're willing to leave your whole country and come over here to try to make a living for yourself. So I'm sure every day is do or die for Alex Jenkins.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Definitely do or die. Alex Jenkins always been he's a work in progress, man. But, man, when he gets on the field, man, he makes things happen. And the Saints have a lot of players at the defensive end position. And he plays most at defensive end. I've seen him rotate him maybe a few times at defensive tackle, but he's most at defensive end. But he's a guy, man, that when given an opportunity, you know, watch out for him. But let's talk about some other.
We need to watch out for Alexander Loney as well, man. 2 practices in a row, he comes up with interceptions to the linebacker, and it was spectacular interceptions to both of them. He did it again, and it's day 5 practice. And before we move on, I also want to give some shout-outs to Dennis Allen, man. Dennis Allen was out there getting on everybody, hollering at him, and trying to get him in line. They were having pretty good practice, but he wouldn't let up. And I want to say the same for Aaron Glenn, man. They're staying on these guys and pretty much holding the standard of perfection from them. So the coaching staff is definitely pushing these guys, and the intensity on our defense right now is you're constantly hearing expectations of them being a top 5 defense. I keep hearing this come up from not just us, because we were talking about it before training camp started, but this is what the defense is saying. This is what the coaches are saying. For us to be a top 5 defense, we not only need to have a practice like this, we need to have multiple practices. like this. You know, this should be the norm. These are the words coming out of these guys' mouths and the expectations that they have. So I'm defensive minded here. I appreciate you, Big Q, bringing up some of the offensive guys to balance it out, man. But I was just blown away by the practice on defense yesterday, and in the mindset, more or less, of our defense now, other than just the play, because how you think and how you practice will be how you play on Sunday.
That's right. Practice means something, Allen Iverson. Practice makes perfect at the end of the day.
Why everybody do that to AI, man? AI was talking. He said,
maybe if he had a few more really good practices, perhaps he probably would have got that vaunted ring.
They don't play the whole thing. His friend had died, and that's why he was saying, we're talking about practice.
We're talking about
but
practice,
they make it
man.
seem like Allen Iverson don't practice.
We talking about practice, not the game.
Man, that's crazy how
not
the
game,
do that, man.
just practice.
The man's friend had died, man.
All right, DC, thanks for setting the record straight. Thank you for setting the record straight.
I'm my dude, man. I can't let you throw me.
All right, thank you for setting the record straight. But we get toward the end of our day 5. We get to the end of our day 5 show. Before we leave DC, of course, day 5 player of the day. What you got?
Oh, I told you it's Demario Davis, no doubt, man.
Not Alex Anzalone?
That jumped out to me. Alex Anzalone had the player of the day, probably.
But he's not the player of the day. It's Double D.
The player of the day?
Player of the day.
Yeah, I said Demario Davis, to me, was the player of the day.
Okay,
he stood out the most. He made the most plays. He had the most highlights, to me. And he set the tone. But rookie sensation, Traquan Smith did it again, though.
I was about to tell you.
I need to take Justin Hardy off of him.
Justin Hardy having a hard time dealing with him.
But he was not the player of the day, man, and he didn't make a lot of plays. Demario Davis was all over the field making plays. I can't give a player of the day to anybody on offense because the defense totally dominated.
Well, that's what I was thinking about Traquan Smith as well, but you make a compelling case for Double D, and I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Double D is the player of the day 5 Saints training camp. Of course, Tuesday, the Saints were off. They come back Wednesday, and of course, we'll come back and follow them as well. But that'll do it for the Sports Coma today, covering day 5 Saints training camp. And as always, if you like the show, please share it with your friends, your co-workers, your family, the guy you driving next to when you stop at the red light, the people you go to when you go to the fast food restaurant, you pick up your food out the window, tell them about us as well. You know what I'm saying? Just spread it around. You know, we all the Saints Nation. We all are members of the Saints Nation and Who That Nation. There you go. But from that'll do it from the show for the day. We appreciate y'all listening. Of course, be on the lookout. We have more Saints content coming at you from me and DC. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.